Hey, and welcome to Office Hours Live. So if you're watching this now, you're watching in our Facebook group, and it's really good to see you here. So as every week we run Office Hours. Office Hours is our opportunity to let you know about the latest changes that have happened in the new Zenler platform. We also go through our education slot where we'll show you the resources that are available to you for free that we, the team here at Zenler, have created for you so you can get the very best from this platform. And of course, we will take your questions live. So if you're new to us, or even if you've been with us for a while and you've got a burning question that you want to get off your chest, you want to test us, you want to ask us, it doesn't matter what it is, because everybody started somewhere with New Zenler. So even if it's a very entry, you think it's a basic question, feel free to ask. Then please do type it in the chat, and we'll, towards the end of Office Hours, we'll answer all of your questions that get typed in live. So my name's Kevin, and as always, I've got David and Rakesh as the team here today. So hi, guys.
Everyone.
Remember, I'll go through some things that you need to think about. We'll go through some other bits and pieces as well during the course of the show, so stay with us. If you are watching us live, let us know where you're watching from. So just type in hashtag live and the country that you're watching from. And on the replay, the same thing, but hashtag replay. We do alternate office hours. So this week we're at 5 p.m. BST. Next week we will be at 10 a.m. BST. And we do that because we have a global audience. That means we have people in pretty much every country, and we want to try and capture as many people live as we can. And we've found over the last year or so, they're generally the best time slots that we can do that at a reasonable time for you all. So hopefully we've got you live. So come and say hi if you are. But we'll start the show as we always do, and that is, it gives me great pleasure to hand over to Rakesh, and Rakesh will walk us through this week's changelog. So over to you, Rakesh.
Cool. Thanks, Kevin. Hey everyone, and thanks for joining us on the live. At New Zenler, we're constantly working on refining all parts of the platform, and we're constantly improving the platform. And part of improving the platform is refining our infrastructure as well, refining all the infrastructure where your site runs on. And now, as we scale, we need to make sure our infrastructure is ready for that, ready to scale out. And for this, we need to schedule a routine system maintenance, and this is going to happen on Friday. And so New Zenler will not be available for around 30 to 45 minutes. We'll try to do it quicker, but sometimes it could be lesser, sometimes it could be more. It depends on how does it go. And yeah, so this Friday, the 6th of August, and 6 a.m. BST, and I think it's around 1 a.m. ET. So downtime is around 30 to 45 minutes. And this could be lesser, it could be a bit more. We'll try to wrap it as soon as possible. And you as an admin and students will not be able to access your site. And we always say, ask instructors to send the information out to students if it really impacts, if the timing of the particular change impacts your site, your students' time zone. We always pick the quietest time, so that it doesn't impact many sites and many students. But we understand we are a global platform, and there are time zones where this could be impacted. So that's that. And during the downtime, we will also show site is under maintenance, banner and stuff like that. As we have been working on infrastructure updates, there's not much to report on the changelog side, but I can surely touch upon some of the big things that are coming up next. Next one is the big updates to the PayPal integration. We're going to add all sorts of extra options for PayPal, including subscriptions, payment plans, paid trials, and so on for PayPal. And hopefully we can get that out soon. It's waiting for the infrastructure update to be out first, and then so we can go on to that. And also, we are also working on the pricing support for live classes and webinars. That is also coming up next. That's a big game changer for those who want to be able to sell live classes and live webinars. It's a big change. So just like you have prices for courses, you should be able to add pricing onto your live classes and live webinars. That's one thing that is one of the big changes that's coming up. And other than that, we have just started working on the new page editor and the themes for your site and course pages. again, that's a huge piece of work that's happening, and it's been long overdue, and that's actually it's one of the top priorities for us because it's been long overdue, and again, we want to get it out so that we can we are in a position where we can add new templates and themes very often. Yeah, all of that. And after that, only we will take a look at the big community revamp. So you need to bear with us. We want to get some of the basics out of the way before we can address the community one. It's coming, but we need to get other things out before that. Other than that, we are not really looking to add too many features as we want to nail what we have right now. So do keep that in mind when requesting new features. We want to wrap up what we want, what we have, rather than adding features here and there. We just want to refine and make sure everything is rock solid, and we are ready to launch and stuff like that when the time comes. And once again, just a quick reminder, New Zenler platform will be down for around 30-45 minutes on the 6th of August, which is the Friday, at around 6 a.m. BST, and that's, I think it's 1 a.m. ET. I think that's it. That's it from the changelog side. Back to you, Kevin.
Okay, lovely. Thanks, Rakesh. So I'll remind you towards the end of office hours of what Rakesh has just mentioned, because it is important, and we'll of course remind you in the group over the next day as well, because not everybody will watch this before Friday, and we don't want everybody feeling that something's gone wrong. This is a positive thing. Often you'll see softwares do this. They'll go through, they're doing something on the infrastructure to make it better for everybody, and it's necessary to do this. As New Zenler grows, we will have times throughout the course of the year. They don't come around very often, but we do need to do this to make sure the platform's reliable. We give you the best experience possible, and also your students can come in and get the very best as well. So, but we do, please bear with us on that. Schedule an hour out for it on Friday morning just to make sure. We don't foresee it being that long, but it's one of those things, when we get it done in 45 minutes, you're going to think we're wonderful anyway. So schedule an hour out. Okay, so that's that part. Now, you're watching this in the Facebook group, and we do, as I mentioned, have lots of lovely resources for you, which we build. They're with our compliments. We do not charge you for any of these things. And David's going to go into a bit more depth in some of them in a minute. But I want to draw your attention to the Facebook group that you're in right now. Now, this is obviously, we've got a big community here, and the community aspect to us is really important. We have very engaged members. We have people that really enjoy being in this area. But there's also a function to it as well. So as you go into the group, you'll see along the top that there's some tabs there. We have our announcement tab, and that's the stuff. I've cleared some of it out because it was getting a little bit cluttered. There was office hours and stuff from 6 months ago, which you can find on YouTube anyway. So I've been clearing some of them out. But you'll find the stuff in there that we deem to be current, useful, really good information for you. So the Wellness Wednesday goes in there. If we're doing live workshops, they go in there. All sorts of bits and pieces. We've got the changelog in there. We've also got feature requests in there if you want to do a search. So have a look if that's something you're looking for and you can't find it anywhere else. You might find it in there. The other bit to note is the events tab. We put all of our live events in there. So office hours is scheduled for this month of August. You'll find all of them in there. And the benefit for this is it's really easy to say, yeah, I want to go to the next office hours, or I want to do a day with Zenler, or I want to go to that workshop. And if we're doing it live on Facebook specifically, you don't have to register for it. So you can forget quite easy that you've said that you want to go. If you click that you're going, there's no major commitment to it. There's no sign-up process to it. All it will do is Facebook will then remind you that event's coming, going to go live. And if you still are interested, that it's coming up. And that's all that it is. And they're really useful to have, not just in the New Zenler group, but any other groups that you might be involved in. Just if they put events up and it's something you want to do, just click going. It's not going to get you on any horrible list of being spammed to death with stuff. It's just useful. We have our YouTube channel as well, and YouTube, David will go through in a minute. Need to go and subscribe to that. You need to go and hit the notify bell over there. There are videos that go on there that don't go anywhere else. So it's a really handy resource for you. And then, of course, we have our tutorial.newzenler.com site, and that's where all of our courses are, where our challenges go, where the workshops end up. And that's where you will find everything and anything that you need to operate New Zenler, and all of its features will be in there. So, and we'll have a look at those in a minute. So they're the three main areas that we have for you that I strongly suggest, if you're new to us or you're flapping around trying to make stuff work, that you go and look there first before you start asking questions in the group, because pretty sure we'll have it covered. If we haven't covered it in there by any chance, and sometimes there are strange requests or they're very specific requests that might not be within the training specifically, then by all means ask in the group. We might be able to point you to the right video. Sometimes some people in the group are very experienced users. They're often there and willing to help you as well. So they might show you something they've done on their site and say, this is how they've done it. But ultimately, all of these resources are built so when you get involved in New Zenler, you're not overwhelmed with how do I use it, but you come up with your plan, you go off and you've got everything there that you need to make the very best out of this platform. So you can make money selling your courses, you can promote your business, your website, your courses, your funnels, all of those things, and you can get on with your online side of your business reasonably effectively. So have a look at those as and when you can. I'll come on to the support aspect after the education slot, and then we'll start looking at questions. So if you've got questions, please do be typing them in while David's doing the education slot, and I promise you we'll come to them before we shut office hours down today. So now it's time for me to hand over to David, and David will take us through this week's education slot, please.
Thank you, Kevin. Okay, guys, can you see my screen okay?
Yeah, perfect.
Yep.
Thank you.
Brilliant. Okay, so as Kevin mentioned, our training hub is at tutorials.newzenler.com. Inside here is all our resources. So there are lots of things going on. It's definitely worth checking out some of the Ask Zenlers. These are little kind of workshops. They're all in there. They're also in the complete guide that I'm going to show you later. But it's worth going on here. It's also worth, if you're looking for any kind of media to promote us, PR media there. And if we scroll down the page, we have latest live events. So these are our office hours, and these are our streams to YouTube on Mondays. And down here, we have our NZ Masterclass bundle. Now, this is our main course, right, guys? So if you're new, or even, you know, if you've never seen this before, because there's still people that haven't seen it. We mention it every week, but it's still people miss it. So you need to go and enroll in this because it contains all of our courses, all of our online courses. You enroll once, get access to all of them. Okay. Now we do have standalone courses. We have the 5-day amazing blogging challenge by Kevin. And this is highly, highly popular. You want to get in here if you want to do any kind of blogging and start this, because I know Kevin's going to do a more advanced one. So get in here, do this, and then you can take the advanced one with Kevin later. So definitely do that. Down here, we have our Zenler feature list and matrix. So we compare the free, pro, and premium and what you get in each of the plans. Okay. So especially you guys that want to upgrade from your free to pro or premium, you can see exactly what you get. And also we have a feature stack up against Thinkific, Teachable, and Kajabi. And I think we've got to update this because we've got quite a few new features going in here. So this might need to be updated pretty soon, because we add all the time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into the NZ Masterclass bundle now. Now, as I said, tutorials.newzenler.com, enroll here, and you're going to get access to this page here. So at the top, we've got a complete search of all of our archives. So it's all of our videos that we've done. And you can put a key phrase in there, and then you're going to get all the videos that feature that key phrase. So this is actually supplied to us through Searchy. So you can go in here and you can just pull out, but it is not in sequence. So if I've done a whole chapter on it, you're only going to see one of those videos. So in which case you might want to go into the guide. So we have primary Zenler courses. So this is the first part of it. If you're new to this, you need to take the quick start guide. There's some people that have been on the platform for a while and are fiddling around trying to do things, and they haven't done the quick start guide, and they're asking very basic questions. You need to do the quick start guide. It will avoid a lot of frustration. You can get straight into actually doing stuff in Zenler and not being held back by some of the simple questions. Quick start guide will take you about 4 hours. That's a morning or an afternoon, and you can finish it. We do a complete site and we do a course, okay, inside here. Now from there, you can also download a basic setup checklist. This is a PDF that you can basically, as you do things, you can check them off. So you don't need to do it all in one go. You can do it over the course of a week, and you can just check things off so you can see what you've done and what you haven't done. After you finish that, you're going to be in a really good position to take the complete guide to Zenler. Now, this is a huge course and it covers so many different things, pretty much all of the major features inside Zenler. So if you're using this, we kind of expect you to kind of cherry pick the things you want to learn about. Like maybe you want to learn how to sell digital products. So you might search in there and find how to do that. Maybe you want to set up a marketing funnel. Maybe you want to set up a live. Maybe you want to do a stream. Again, you can just search for it all in the complete guide to Zenler. It's our biggest course. It's our flagship course for everything Zenler. So work your way, quick start guide, download the basic checklist at the same time and check things off. Then jump into subjects you want to know about in the complete guide. Now, from there, we have secondary Zenler courses, and these are just extras that we've supplied to you. Everything's absolutely free of charge. We show you how to set up your hardware, such as microphones, camera, green screens. We also show you on the Effortlessly Copy a Site how to take a WordPress site, a Drupal site or something, and turn it into a Zenler site and actually make it look better. We've got advanced ninja tricks. This is for coders and developers. If you're not a coder and developer, stay away from this course, but there was a need from it from more of our advanced users. We've also got a quick little course here on branding and design, and this will really help you if you've got no sort of design experience. Just check this out. It will really help you. Next, we've also got themes and block packs. Now, this is in here to kind of give you some options to take some different types of blocks and put them into your site. It will be replaced because Zenler is going to have templates already built into it with lots of different things going on. So we will be replacing this, but it's just in there for now to give you some more starting blocks to start with, start your sites off, your designs off. And lastly, we have the live workshops, which are Sunday workshops. They cover pretty much everything from course creation, site building, to funnels, to setting up lives. This is quite good. They're live as well. So that are our main courses. So in the complete guide to Zenler, if I just jump into that, you're going to see here that we have this flagship course that you can search for certain things you're looking for. And as you can see, it's huge. So don't get overwhelmed. You pick out what you want to learn about and you just work through that little section, you know, and you want to learn something else, you just jump in, search, jump into that section, watch that, and then you're off. So this is our tutorials.newzenler.com sort of training hub. Now, as Kevin mentioned also, we have our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/c/Zenler. And we on last week, we did a year with Zenler. So we showed what we've done, what Zenler has done over the past 12 months. And it's pretty mind blowing. So we put it as the trailer at the top for you guys to watch. And we're looking back at it, it's just amazing what's actually happened with the platform. I know me and Kevin are kind of shocked by some of the numbers that we're seeing, and it's definitely worth a watch. Next, we've got new features. Every time we bring out a new feature, then a video goes in here explaining and showing you how to use it. And it's then in the platform itself. Okay, so you can go straight in and start working with that. Next, we've got Ask Zenlers. These are videos on how to do things in Zenler. So these are normally questions that have come from the Facebook group. They're longer questions, and I've gone into detail on how to set it up. So you can see that we have responsive behavior and how to fix it. Lots of people are having problems showing the site on their phone just because they didn't know how the blocks worked responsively. So this video shows you how to do that quite well. And we've also got a new little list in here, playlist, and this is our video testimonial. So I've got 34 people that have gone into a marketing course. They're just running through it, which we're then going to release as an evergreen course. No ETA on that because we haven't finished the course yet. All the guys that you're seeing here are part of the marketing course, and they did videos for us. So they did a video testimonial for us, and we've dropped them in there. And it's quite interesting to see how people are using the platform. So this is a new playlist straight in here. Next, we've got the pro interviews, and I can see there's a new one gone up from Marion McDonald. So I guess Kevin's going to mention about that. Looks quite interesting. I haven't watched that one yet, but these are like gold dust. These are brilliant to watch. Zenler FBHs, quick videos answering questions that you've asked on Facebook post. So if I've seen that, I've made a FBH, and I'll just put a link on that post and you'll go through to it. So they're quick questions. Next, we got a day with Zenler. Last week was a crazy busy week for us. We did a day with Zenler. I think it was on Friday. I lost count with the amount of lives we did last week, but it was a 2-session, 3 hours. So it's 6 hours. We had Rakesh was on there giving a session. We had Kevin on there giving us a session as well. That ran for about an hour. So that was quite a long one. I think Kevin only expected to be on there for half an hour, but it overran because we were talking about it all. And next we got live workshops, Zenler office hours, all drop into here. So I think that's about it. So tons to look at. If you guys haven't looked at our YouTube channel, make sure you go there and hit the subscribe and the bell icon there to be told when new videos will get posted there. Really need to do this, guys, because then when we release a new feature release, you get pinged straight away. So you go, new release. So you guys looking for community, when that's going to come out, it's going to drop in there. You'll be the first to know if you hit that bell icon and subscribe. Okay, Kevin, back to you.
Thanks, David. Yeah, Marion's interview was really interesting. Marion teaches people mathematics, so children at school age. Now, for me, what was really interesting was often people that are teaching those that are under 16 years old, it's not just about the teaching of the material. They also have to create an environment that is safe for those under 16 to interact in. Now, often people will go to a Facebook group. Now, minors under a certain age are not even allowed to have a Facebook account. That's the first thing. So often they're in breach of the rules of Facebook. Secondly, on Facebook, they can by default start messaging each other privately, and all sorts of stuff goes on. And Marion has moved from Facebook to the Zenler community area that's already available without the upgrade, and it's still usable because the simplicity behind it not only focuses the younger people on the task at hand, which it does, but also there isn't all of the private messaging. There isn't a rule that says under a certain age can't use this platform. It's a very safe environment for a responsible teacher to use for minors. So we go through that in that interview, plus some other stuff as well. And I know there's a huge number of Zenler users that are teaching youngsters, and safety online has to be a concern when you're selling your courses. So she's using it as a selling point, which I found really good. So watch the interview. It's a really good one to watch. There are a couple of little breakups in the first couple of minutes, but it does settle down after that. So, but it's well worth watching. If you're one of those people that are teaching younger students that are under, let's say under 18, and safeguarding online is a part of what you have to think about, this is a really good example of how you can use all of the inbuilt features. There's nothing external about that interview, and how she can do it successfully for her business. So it's a good one to look into. So yeah, that went up today, and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. And as you can see with the numbers of the pro user interviews, people are really starting to understand the diversity of a platform like Zenler with its features, where you don't have to use all of them, but with a little bit of thought behind how you're going to present your areas, your courses, your memberships, whatever you want to call it, you can do it natively within this platform. It's really interesting. So thanks, David, for the education slot. If you've not yet subscribed to YouTube, do head on over there. So the link's in the chat, or will be in the chat. Go and subscribe, go and hit the bell. It is definitely well worth your while. And as David rightly said, go to the tutorial site, subscribe over there. I called the masterclass bundle the Haynes manual of Zenler, as in we've got the search feature on there. Don't start at number 1, lesson 1. You probably end up spending 3 weeks to get to the bit that you actually want. In a Haynes manual, if you need to change a tyre, you don't read about the exhaust because it's irrelevant. to what you want to achieve. You flick through in the index, you find a bit about changing the tire, and that course is exactly the same. Use the search, find the part you want to implement, and just go to that bit, and it will not feel overwhelming then. But the quick start guide is absolutely where you've got to be. Even if you've been with us a year or 2 years and we've added new features that you've not yet set up, which is quite probable, go back through that and just make sure you're bang up to date with it all and it's all working as you need it to work. So there we go. Right, let me head over to the chat now, and I'll see you've been a little bit busy while we've been talking, going through our bits and pieces. So hi, Tina, good to see you here live with us. Dana, good to see you back. Haven't seen you in the community for a while, but good to see you here. Chris, good to see you as always. Phoenix, good afternoon to you. Nice to see you. A couple of our regulars there, which is really nice. We've got a question from Sampath. So the landing page loading time is high. Is there a way to speed it up?
Well, I'll take that, Kevin.
Okay.
Hey, Sampath, thanks for your question. Yeah, so this is precisely why we are rebuilding the page editor, so that we can address all of these issues. Currently, with the current page editor, there's lots of stuff that is getting loaded, which should not be loading and stuff like that. So yeah, so that is precisely one of the reasons why we are rebuilding the page editor, so that it improves the page editing speed and it improves the page load speed on the student side and visitor side. So yeah, so the entire thing is changing under the hood. You may not see much difference outside, but under the hood, the page editor is being rebuilt so that it's quite clean and it does exactly what it's supposed to, rather than bringing in lots of CSS and stuff like that, which it should not really. But yeah, so that's precisely why we are rebuilding the editor. Currently, there is no way to speed up what we have. It is what it is, but we are working on the brand new page editor. Yeah, that will. Yeah, go on, David.
Yeah, with that as well, guys, check out the all day with Zenler that we did, because inside that I show some little tips. I mean, that we know that it's all going to be faster when we put all these upgrades in, but I mean, you can watch the video. I was on there for 6 hours and I was working at speed. I wasn't cutting anything down. I was working at speed, and you could see how quick I could get to those pages. There was a few little tips that I show in there. One of them that's really important is if you hit the edit button on one of the pages, wait for the editor to load. It doesn't mean that it should stop you. You can go back, go into another page or do some things on the other page. When you see it's finished and loaded, jump to that page, make your changes, because once you're in the page editor and it's loaded up, it's fast. It's just waiting for that initial load, and that's what the team are going to work on to make sure the initial load is quicker by loading less code. But work effectively, work smart. When you're using the platform, think, oh, I'm going to do that and that, and then you can jump between them, and you can actually work faster by just employing a little bit of thinking behind what you're doing. So that's my advice to you.
Perfect. Thank you, guys. And it's reminded me, Sampath, and this is what I like about office hours is, we try and be as responsive as we can to the needs of the community. And a number of months ago, the team did talk about putting together a checklist for making sure that locally your PC is as fast as it can be whilst using Zenler. We were talking about making sure you're using the right browser, doing a speed test and how you can do that on your own internet, which can affect it, making sure you understand how you can clear a cache and things like that. So some quite basic things that you can do that might just help you if you're having a problem, just your side of things. And that's just reminded me, actually, we probably need to revisit that and create that as a resource for you all. Just see, it's a reminder that if you are new to us and you're having some issues, you might be using a non-preferred browser with our system, and therefore that might be causing you issues. So rather than going to support and saying, look, it's really slow, or thinking, Zenler doesn't work very well, you might just, by switching to Chrome, might actually, a very simple thing like that, just have some of your issues immediately solved. So I think we'll go back and revisit that. We'll have a conversation afterwards, the team, and see whether we can do that. I think would be quite useful. So
yeah, can I add one more thing on that, Kevin?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so I think if Sampath is referring to the page load speeds on the visitor side, I think there are a couple of other factors as well, like image sizes. So you need to make sure your images are not bloated and they are optimized. So yeah, use sites like tiny JPEG and to compress your images. So I think we see a lot of sites having bloated images, that affects the page speed a lot. You want to add anything on that, David?
Yeah, and also videos. I mean, I'll give you a case. I mean, this for any site. This isn't Zenler site.
Yeah.
This is like any site. When we first did our Zenlers, I loaded up video thumbnails. So they were basically embedded from YouTube. And I had about maybe 40 on a page. It was really bogging the time down because it's loading all those pages, all those things in there. And it really bogs things down there. Be exactly the same with a WordPress site. It's not a Zenler specific problem. Again, oversized images or too many images in a page can cause problems as well. So there are certain things. I mean, we know that Zenler optimizes everything when it comes in there, but you just need to be careful because it can optimize image. But if you put 1,000 images in there, then it's going to bog the site down. So, bear that in mind as well. Also, tabs on your browser. When you're working with Zenler, just try and, if you've got 50 tabs open, it's going to slow it all down. So watch that. Make sure you're not running a video editing program and then going in there as well. So if you're doing something, make sure it's specific to the task. If you're working on the Zenler platform, just have the Zenler pages up. Don't work on anything else on the side, and that will help as well.
Awesome. But we'll look and see whether it's feasible to put together some form of check sheet, just giving you these little tips, because it sounds, we can probably help you in some way, I think, just to overcome some of those things quite easily. Okay, let's move on. So, Chris, your question is, can we have an update on communities? Is there an update, Rakesh, on communities yet?
I think I've already covered it on the changelog update that I gave. We're currently focusing on other things like live pricing and page editor and stuff like that. So once we get that out of the way, we will look at community. So it's top priority, but we got other urgent priorities that we need to look at. So once we get those out of the way, we will be in a position to look at rebuilding a community from ground up. So it's going to come, but it's going to be some time before we can look at that.
Perfect. Okay. So thank you for your question. Mary's got a question. So thank you, Mary, for putting your question in. How many groups can I have within a community?
Hey, Mary, I'm not entirely sure what exactly she means by groups. I guess what Mary means is how many courses you can attach to the community. I think, what do you think, David?
Yeah, I mean, that's a kind of two-spear question. I think when she's looking at communities, she's seeing the communities come up on the left-hand side of the panel, but they're all separate communities. They're not groups. They're not grouped into another community. I don't know. I think it's like unlimited the amount of students you could have in a community. So from a community aspect, you could put however many is in the course if you're tying it to a course. So as far as setting up groups, well, you can set up as many courses as you like, and you can have a community with each course. So is there a limit on the amount of courses that we could put up, Rakesh?
Yeah, I think I missed that bit, David. What were you trying to say?
Is there a limit? I don't think there is, because I've not heard it. But is there a limit on the amount of courses that you could put on a Zenler system? So like you say, 1 million.
Yeah, I think there will be some limits internally for everything on the platform, but the limits should be liberal. I've not seen anyone coming across onto the Facebook group saying we have hit the limit. So I think we do have some internal limits, but I don't think it's you should be liberal, I think.
Brilliant.
And we can, of course, have as many communities as we like. We're not restricted on the amount of communities either.
I think there are some limits per plan, but I don't know exact numbers. But I think it should be pretty liberal.
Cool. Okay, thank you very much. So let's move on. Mary, if that hasn't answered your question or we've misunderstood the question, please do type it in and I'll come back to you. So Berg is from Sweden. So good to see you here. One of our regulars, brilliant. So Chris seems quite excited. I'm not sure what you're excited about, but perhaps you'll let us know. Phoenix, okay, question. On the page editor, I would please love to be able to add a box behind the text, then fill the box, make it 50% opaque, transparent without making the text transparent too. the option is not currently there as far as I can see, or am I missing something obvious?
I think what Phoenix is trying to do is to make the background opaque, background transparent, I think.
Yeah, I think what she wants is maybe that inside of a row. So where you have the block, of course, we can put an image in, and then we can put a background color, and we can change the opacity. But within a row, we can't do that.
Yeah, not within a row currently.
Yeah. So that's a feature request, I guess.
Yeah, that's a feature. Yeah, we have noted that.
Yeah, I mean, my workaround for that would be to drop a semi-transparent PNG file, take a text element, and then just to put a negative value into the spacing to knock it into that area. So you can do it. It just requires a little bit of sort of creative thinking.
Cool. Okay, Talal, so hello, I need to ask the bulk upload for quiz questions. Is there a way of bulk uploading quiz questions?
Hey Talal, currently there is no way to bulk upload quiz questions, but as I said before, we are waiting on a big update for quizzes. This is not going to happen anytime soon. We have pushed it to later. Once we get to that, we will be able to do all sorts of things like bulk upload, branching, and all of that. But we have to wait for that.
Cool. Okay. So Phoenix is just giving someone somewhere where they can put lead magnets and PDF stuff. So that's cool. Mary's saying, Rakesh, in my membership, I teach on grief. So I want a group on death of a parent and death of a spouse, death of a child, etc. So I think she's got a course, and then she wants groups that are separate for people.
I think what Mary wants something like topics, I think, but again, this is something which is coming in the rebuild of the page build of the community. So I think probably you have to wait for that.
Can you assign more than one community to a course?
You can.
So you could, in essence, have the 3 different communities and segregate them out based on a tag, maybe?
You can, you can do that. And also even lesson discussions as well. You can have different lesson discussions depending on the plan they purchase. So there are maybe ways that we can make it work for you. We just need to think how that could be with what we've got right now until the update on communities comes along. So Chris, being here because I always miss the lives. Chris, it's very good to have you here. So we're pleased that you managed to get on live with us this time. Phoenix is saying, David, you got it. So your description of her problem was correct, and hopefully the solution will help her out. So that's brilliant. Right. Okay, let's cover the last part of this, and then I'll come back and see if there are any more questions. So you can, okay, Mary, brilliant. And then if there's any more questions, we'll come up before we wrap up. So at the moment you are in the Facebook group. Now, we do point this out every week because this actually helps everybody by pointing this out. The Facebook group is here because we're a community. We need somewhere to share stuff. We need sometimes emotional support. Sometimes we need to get a little bit of brainstorming going on, things like that. It's not a community for technical support. Our technical support team do not come in and monitor the Facebook group. We have a set process for that. All of the technical support goes through email. So if something weird is happening on your account, something isn't happening that you believe should, you've looked in the tutorial site, you can't find an answer, you looked at the Ask Zenlers and it hasn't been answered there, then head on over to your email and put a ticket in with support@newzenler.com. And what will happen is when you put that email in, you'll get a ticket number come back. The ticket number means that they've received your request. Now, if you can do a video recording of what your issue is, that will really help the team, because otherwise they've got to try and replicate it. If it's a wider issue with Zenler, there's something not right for lots of accounts, it's reasonably easy to replicate. But if it's something that's just happening on your account, that can be almost impossible. So they're going to have a constant backwards and forwards trying to get to the bottom of it. So to speed the whole process up, we ask if you can do a Loom video or something like that and send that in with your support request. Now, dependent on what the request is, this may get put out to our technical team.
which means it may take slightly longer than normal to get a reply. So we have our support team and we have our technical support team. So if it's a deeper issue, something more complex, then the tech support guys will take a look at it, and therefore it goes down the chain. And then, of course, it comes back again. So please be patient with the guys that are working on this. They're very good at what they do, and they do come back as quickly as they possibly can with the best possible solution for you. But if you're putting these questions in the Facebook group, you're going to be disappointed because they're not there monitoring these things. So please just remember that. So yes, sorry, I said support at New Zenler. It's not, it's support at zenler.com. So apologies. So please do put your email into those guys. Now, what else do we have coming up? I can't see any more questions yet. I have a mini announcement for you all. So I've been doing these pro user interviews, and I got talking to a really fascinating business owner. And one of the things that we're really good at here at Zenler is if we find a useful resource that we think will help you, we're quite happy to do a workshop with that particular Zenler user to help the wider community and the users of Zenler. And David's done this. He had a branding guy come in and help with some branding stuff. You also have someone coming up. I don't think you've done it yet, David. Have you, with the confidence on camera stuff?
Yes, we started it. So yeah, that's in the marketing course. We're going to release that as well. Yeah.
Brilliant. And I've just had a chat with someone, and we're going to talk about our own perceptions of what's holding us back in actually marketing and putting our courses out there. So this could be fear of getting out to a wider audience. It could be what people think of us. It could be fear of failure. It could be fear of success, but very much to do with our mindset of actually going out and producing, launching and marketing and selling our courses. And this stuff is quite a big deal. I see this regularly. We see it in the community quite frequently. I've heard it in the Launch Your First Course Challenge. I know David's had this in his marketing group. There are people that let this hold them back. Now, I'm not an expert on this. David's not an expert on this. We don't have anyone on our team that's an expert. So very kindly, one of the pro users has agreed to put a workshop on with me, and we're going to present that in September. And of course, it will be free again, where we'll go through some of the things that we can do to help us overcome. And of course, we'll take questions as well. So if there's specific cases, it's not going to be streamed into Facebook. It's going to be done in a private class. So you can come in and you can ask your questions and we'll go through it. And what we'll do is we'll do it in two halves. So there'll be sort of like an official training part, and then we'll stop the recording and then we'll do the questions. So if there's personal stuff that you don't want to go out publicly, we'll respect that and we'll keep that to within the group that we've got. And that's how we're going to operate that. But the actual training itself will go out, and that will go out as part of probably the marketing course incorporated into that. So look out for that in September. Another exciting development. If there are any workshops that you would like us to consider, or if you have a skill that you feel the course creators of Zenler would benefit from, and you're willing to have a discussion with us, put yourself forward. We're always open to the conversation. If we can see the benefit and we can see how it's going to help people, then as a team, we'll sit here and discuss it, and we'll always see if it's a possibility to put that workshop together. So please do reach out to one of the team. Now, while I've been jabbering, are there any more questions? Sunita's saying, just need my module 3 of 4 signed off in the marketing course. Perfect.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, Kevin. That's Sunita.
Tina is saying, support is always fast. Chris is saying, which is fantastic to hear. And I know that you've been a reasonably long-term user, so that's brilliant. Tina's saying, my VA is no longer available. I have to do Zenler myself now. Scary. Tina, just one step at a time. Just learn it one step at a time. Remember, Zenler was built for people that are not technical. You don't have to be a web designer. You certainly do not have to be a coder to use this platform. And the whole idea was behind it that if you've got an idea for a course and you want to sell a course, we'll give you a platform you can use. But just watch the pro user interviews and you will hear all of the ones that I've done so far. They're not web people. They're not coding people, but they've all sold courses. They've all learned the platform to the point that they need to, which is different for everybody, and they're selling courses. They've got students and they're happy. So Tina, don't feel scared by what's here. You're not on your own. You've got a great team, the Zenler team here supporting you. We've got a fantastic community that will support you and give you some moral support as well. Everything's here that you need to make it a success for you. So please do have a look around. Right, no more questions come in. So I think it's time to wrap up for this week. So Rakesh, do you have anything else? Have I forgotten anything for this week?
No, nothing else from my end.
Okay, perfect. David, anything more from you?
No, all's good.
Brilliant. So as a final reminder for you, this Friday, so that's the 6th of August, 6 a.m. BST, New Zenler will be offline for around about 30 to 45 minutes. We're doing the infrastructure upgrades. It will be down for a period of time. So if you're looking to do live classes or anything like that, please reschedule them. It's very infrequent this happens, but it's essential maintenance we need to make this platform better for everybody. So it will be down, everybody's will be down. So please don't come in going, where's my site gone? It's not here, because all the tech team are going to be working on actually what they've got to do. So we're giving you plenty of notice for this. We'll put a post into the group tomorrow as well, just to remind you this is going to happen. So I look forward to the infrastructure becoming stronger, because it means we're building as a business and as a company, and this software is just getting better and better week on week. So it's a positive thing. It's a really great move. So thank you to the tech team at Zenler for doing that in a very organized way on Friday. So that will be great. From me, all I've got to do now is remind you that next week, office hours is every Wednesday, remember, 10 a.m. BST. We will all be back. So have your questions ready. If you want to ask anything, please do so live. If you are on the replay watching this, #replay, let us know where you are. It's great to see so many familiar and new faces here with us live today. Thank you for coming along and asking your questions. And for now, enjoy using New Zenler, and we will see you during the course of the next week or on office hours next Wednesday. Thanks, everyone, and see you then.